Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Beth and I like to knit and crochet, and today I'm just going to be going through some of my spring and summer plans and kind of hopefully show you some different inspiration for some different pieces. So I was reflecting back on what I wanted to make for my winter into spring pieces, and I made 5 out of 10 of them, which I don't feel like is too bad considering they were all relatively big pieces on relatively small needles. And I've also just been doing a lot of other stuff, been finally getting into writing up some of my knitting patterns, and yeah. So these ones, there's going to be more. There's going to be around 15 because I think with a lot of kind of summer tops and that sort of thing, they do just kind of work up more quickly anyway. The other thing is, I haven't crocheted in ages. I actually really love the process of crocheting, but I don't always love to wear crochet pieces, although of course I'm sat wearing a crochet top right now. But I feel like it's really applicable to spring and summer pieces because you can get these gappier area fabrics. So yeah, without further ado, we'll get into it. Let me just tell you about this top. This top is a pattern by Just the Worsted, I don't know how you say it. I tested this maybe like 2 years ago, and yeah, this is what it looks like. I think this, I crocheted this in a cotton. I can't remember exactly what it's called. I think it's called Yarn and Colours Must Have from Lovecrafts, and it's like a mercerised cotton, so raglan, you know, simple. But yeah, so I'm gonna go knit first and then crochet. And if you have watched any of my previous videos, you know that a lot of the time I completely self-draft. However, we've actually got 2 patterns on this list, so this is also going to be kind of like not a first, but you know, I don't often follow patterns. So I should say as well, this is going to be a mix of weather appropriate stuff, and also I still want to make jumpers, I still want to make cardigans. I live in the UK. As beautiful and sunny as it has been, it is not always actually warm. So there's going to be a lot of sort of like summery tops, but also some jumpers and cardies sprinkled throughout. So don't let you kind of throw that off. But the first one that I have decided I'm going to make is Blouse #1 by My Favourite Things Knitwear. Now, she's got to be like one of the biggest knitwear designers in the world. I have never followed a pattern by her. I've never followed a garment pattern by Petite or anything. So yeah, I have been seeing this absolutely everywhere. I think it looks so nice, and I had in my head that I wanted to make something like this, and I feel like it's so simple and it's such a basic that I'm kind of just like, this time I feel like I don't need to go through the effort of designing this myself. There's really nothing that I would change about this specifically, and I just feel like the fit that she's got on it is like super flattering. The other thing as well is I have ordered myself some pretty bougie yarn to knit with this pattern. So I have ordered myself some Noro to use for this. It's the Noro, oh god, I can't remember exactly what the base is called, like Harito or something. I'll try and obviously pop photos up on the screen as we go through. It's kind of like a self-striping yarn, and it's a mix of silk, cotton and polyamide. So I feel like it'll be super suitable for the warmer weather, and especially like I live in a coastal town, so obviously we go to the beach a lot in the summer, but by the time it gets to the evenings, it's cold. Like as soon as it gets windy, it's cold. I feel like this will be a really good piece just throw on, and obviously especially with the yarn, I think because the top is so basic, the yarn's really going to be what makes this shine. And yeah, I can't wait. It's in the post. Hopefully it's going to come soon, because obviously this weekend is Easter weekend, so there's no post or anything, but hopefully this is going to happen very, very soon, and I'm sure everyone and their mum has seen this pattern, truthfully. The second top that I am going to be knitting, which is following a pattern, is the Soul Top by Rows Knitwear, which again, I feel like everyone has probably already seen, been there, done that. This was huge last year. and I got the book for Christmas. I asked for it for Christmas, and it's a pattern that's in here. Let me see if I can quickly find the page. So if for some reason this has not been on your radar, this is what the top looks like, and obviously these versions of it have like two different colors held together to give it this like mild effect. I am not going to do that. Hopefully, again, I'll put pictures on the screen, so if it wasn't super clear there, you can see it. She also does like a striped scrappy version, which I also really love. However, one thing about me is I'm trying to use through my stash. Unfortunately, this month has been absolutely horrific in terms of my yarn ban. I have bought so much yarn this month that I did not need to. However, a lot of these summer yarns I feel like I've had in stash for quite a long time. I say that as I'm looking around at the pile of stuff I've just bought, but anyway. This is a cotton yarn from Drops. This is the, I want to say that this is the Drops Paris, so it's not the mercerised one, and I don't know exactly what colourway this is because, I mean, clearly the labels come off, but I knit up a swatch to make sure that I was on gauge, and it's just this really like vibrant red colour. I am obsessed with this. I originally bought this yarn as well as some like a lilac in the same yarn to make a striped jumper. This is going back like 2 and a bit years now. Ultimately that never happened, obviously, and I've just had this sat in stash, didn't know what to do with it because both the yarn quantities on their own are quite like small, and I don't think that I've actually got enough for this pattern. However, what I think that I am gonna do is cast on in the middle and do like a magic cast on or provisional cast on, whatever it's called, and knit up and do the top sections with like the straps and everything, and then just basically pick back up and knit down as far as I can go. I don't mind if this is a little bit cropped because it's a summer top anyway, and I tend to wear high-waisted bottoms, jeans, whatever, so I don't think it's the end of the world if I'm missing a little bit of length. I'm also really short. I'm like 5'2", so there's not much midriff going on. But yeah, I think this colour is so pretty. I feel like this would be so nice as just a top. The thing as well that I think stood out to me about this top is I feel like I could get away with it being bra friendly. I am a bra girl. I can't go out without a bra. I tend to wear like tank toppy things, so as long as it hides the straps, and I feel like it should because they're quite like solid pieces, I think I'll be fine. I don't mind a little bit on display, but we don't want the whole thing out, you know. But yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like this is going to be such a nice, quick, like mindless knit as well because it's predominantly stockinette, and if I sort of tackle the straps first, then I feel like that's the most brain thinking necessary part, and it's also knit at, I think it's on like 4 or 4.5 millimeters. I feel like obviously a lot of summer tops you have to do it on like a smaller gauge, so that's what I really like about this because it's not going to be really tedious. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. So they're the two patterns that I'm going to be following. Everything else on here is pure vibes, pure inspo. You know I love to self-draft, so hopefully these can just give you some inspiration of, I don't know, either things you could make or ways that I guess you could style some of your knits as well. So I saw this picture on Pinterest. I don't even know how long ago. I've had this saved like literally forever, and I've been going down this rabbit hole of these type of tops. Now obviously these are in normal fabric, however I'm gonna knit one because I feel like it. So they've kind of got the like ruched panel around your waist, kind of up to your bust line, and then the top kind of comes out. So the way that I want to do this is I want to have that ruched part all in rib and then the top part in stockinette. And this is actually one of my newest acquisitions, which I bought specifically for this piece. So I'm going to knit this in the Drops Belle. So this is a mix of cotton, viscose and linen. This I think is basically an exact dupe for the Sandnes garn lean or line. I'm convinced it's not pronounced line, but anyway. So I, again, have done a swatch of this. This colour is... This is colour 26. I want to say I think that this is called Pearl. It's not the white and it's not the off-white. I really like this colour because it's not a yellowy, creamy off-white. It still feels really... I don't even know. I wouldn't even say it's necessarily cool toned. And I feel like it kind of suits my skin tone. So as you can see, this is the ribbed portion. However, I kind of knit this swatch upside down. I'm considering actually knitting this bottom up instead of top down, so I really should have done the swatch reversed, but anyway, that's so not important. If you saw my recent vlog, I was swatching for a couple of things. I was going back and forth on what needle size to do this rib in, and I think that I have settled on this. The thing that I'm not sure on in this design, right guys, and you might actually need to help me out, I am not sure whether I'm going to do I-cord straps and tie the top, or a tank top, or like a t-shirt kind of top. Hopefully, again, I can put it up here. I am really going back and forth on this design idea. All I know is I want ruched in the middle, like kind of like coming out here and then stocking out on the top. I think I'm leaning towards a tank top with the I-cord straps maybe, which is why I want to knit this bottom up, because I know a lot of people struggle with when you knit summer tops top down, if the straps stretch, then there's nothing really you can do about it. You can't go back and re-knit or knit them short or anything. So yeah, I am excited about this. I'm excited to try the yarn, but this is definitely going to take me longer than the sole one, because this is on stockinet's 3.5, the ribs on 3, so not ideal. But yeah, this idea is actually living rent free in my head. And then the next idea that I kind of want to do is again in Drops Belle. So this is the same yarn, but this is colour 10. It's just obviously green, and with this I want to make like a simple kind of boat neck kind of tank top. I should say for the last one, when I said tank top, I do mean like a boat neck. But as you can see here, I saw this inspo picture on Pinterest with these like twists in the top at the front. Now, like I said, I'm a bra wearer. I can't go without. I couldn't have this in the front without everything underneath being on display. So what I think I would really like to do is have the front all stockinette, you know, pretty basic, just chuck it on, and then have a twist in the back neck. So you know how some tops you'll get like the little kind of like opening at the back with the button and the loop? It would kind of act as that, but with no opening. It would just have the twist and then it would have the opening, but no closure. It would be permanently closed, if that makes any sense. I feel like this would just be a really fun little twist on like a classic tank top. It would just be something super easy to wear. This year I am really trying to make an effort to wear my knits more, and yeah, I just think this would be really cute, and I do love green, so yeah, I really like this colour. The next one, I'm torn. So let me tell you about the yarn first. I got this Viking garn bamboo in this black, which is cotton and bamboo. I put a post up on my story a little while ago about like saying, can you recommend me some of your favorite summer yarns, and quite a few people said bamboo. I will say it's really, really soft, so you are not going to be able to see anything really, but this is just a black stockinette swatch in this yarn. So yeah, like I said, it's super soft, and I feel like it does have quite a lot of stretch. Now, I have a design in mind for this, and then I have a backup, let's say. What I think I would like to attempt to do is like a halter neck top, like a proper low cut in the front, tight waist, and then kind of like gathered like under the boob, so that she cups the girls so that I wouldn't have to wear a bra with it. I feel this would be really like cute. I have a lot of kind of going out tops like this in normal fabric anyway, so I just think it would be nice to have a knitted edition because I think that's just a really easy way. I get really worried about wearing my knits on nights out or to dinner, especially with jumpers, because I always get scared that I'm gonna drag my sleeves in something, like dip it in my dinner, or you know, if someone spills a drink on the table, or do you know what I mean, like pubs are just a bit sticky. I get worried that I'll put my arms down and all of a sudden I've stained my sleeves. However, I feel like a black top, you just can't go wrong. Like, I don't think I would be really too worried about getting it dirty, and you know, I could just rewatch this if I got kind of like hot and sweaty in it. So yeah, that is what I would like to do. However, my backup would be to do one of these button-up tank tops. So I think I still would like to make this regardless. So what I think I'm going to try and do is maybe try the halter first. If it works, I do have another yarn in stash that I think I would like to use for the button-up instead, if I have enough. I haven't honestly checked yet. If you saw a little while ago, I made my short sleeve cabled cardigan. That was knit in the Rowan Soft Yak DK, which is quite a big percentage of cotton, a bit of yak, and then a bit of like nylon or something, and I had quite a lot left over. I feel like something that's skin tight and sleeveless shouldn't require too much yarn, so I think I would maybe use the leftover of that to make the button up if the halter neck works out. If the halter neck doesn't work out, I'll make the button up in this, because again, I think this could be a really cute little just like summer top, going out top. I feel like this is one of them pieces that you can wear through the day and into the evening, because I hate having to get changed for different occasions. So yeah, this is just black. So another yarn I've had in stash for the longest time is this Friends Cotton AA, and if you caught my winter / spring plans, this was featured. I initially got this yarn to make an oversized cabled jacket because I kind of basically I wanted to make a piece in a not 100% wool yarn so that it was more transitional. However, I've just come to the realization that I'm just definitely not going to have enough to do what I want to do. I feel like I could get something out of this because I mean I have 20 balls of this, but they're only 75 meters and I love my jackets oversized. I didn't want to compromise on the fit of that idea because I feel like I can make that idea in a different yarn and really utilize this for something like a top, because the other problem with 100% cotton is it gets heavy pretty quickly. So I feel like even if I'd bought more and even if the dye lots matched, which obviously wasn't guaranteed, I didn't think that the piece was going to be as good as it could be. So we are repurposing this. I say repurposing, it's not like I'm frogging anything, but I basically would really like to make one of these tops where the top is tight and the bottom ruffles out. So I guess it's almost the exact opposite of the like ruched middle top, because that's going to be tight and then loose, and this one's going to be loose down here, tight up here, you know what I mean? So I did this swatch a little while ago. I think I'm actually going to change how I did this, but again, hopefully we'll have some pictures on the screen so you can see what I mean. Again, these are fabric, but you can knit anything you want. So this was the first sample that I did. So this would kind of sit, I don't know how to show you this. Obviously it's all stockinette, so this would be the top section, like the bust. And then what I did is I knitted down, caught underneath, and I'm sorry my hair is on absolutely everything, and then rapidly increased out on this first row to, I think I essentially doubled the stitch count, but don't think I'm going to do the actual piece like this. I also swatched, I think this was in a 4 and I think this was in a 3.5. I might go down to the 3.5 purely for security's sake, so it's not see-through. Maybe what I'll do is I'll knit that sole top and see if I have any issues with it being too transparent, and then if it's fine in the 4 on that because it's the same gauge, then I think I'll go ahead with this in a 4. But I don't know if I'm going to do this like this, because I would like this kind of middle ridge section. As hopefully you can see, all of these tops have essentially a channel around the middle with drawstrings. That's what ruches the bottom. I'm not going to do that. It's going to be knitted just straight out from that line, but I still want it to have that kind of like rim. So I don't know whether I'm going to do this, or what I might do is do an I-cord along the bottom edge and then re-pick up here. I'm also not going to rapidly increase like this, because as you can see, it kind of creates these big holes in between the stitches. I think what I'll probably do is do more spaced out increases over a series of like rows along the top, so that nothing's this gappy. But let me try, and it would kind of be like from here, right? So all of this would be flat and then it would flare out. I feel like I definitely have enough to do this because you have 20 balls of this yarn. And I think for the top, well, I'm conflicted whether to do this as like a strappy top or whether to do this as a boat neck tank. I think I am going to do this as a boat neck tank because, like I said, with cotton getting heavy and the whole thing about summer top straps stretching out, I feel like that would maybe be a bit of a bad combination. I think if I was to do this strappy, it might be better in something like the Drops Belle, that is a percentage of linen and viscose, so the yarn is just overall quite a lot lighter for the same kind of meterage. So yeah, I think I might do a tank top for this, but I'm really excited about this piece, and I honestly just really want more things in navy. I knit my boyfriend a navy jumper for Christmas, and ever since I've just been like, where's my navy thing? So yeah, this is the next one. So like I said, there's still going to be some jumpers in here, and honestly a lot of these are carrying over from my last plan, so I'm gonna skim over them. The first jumper I would like to make next, well, okay, hang on, let me just preface this. I have a couple of things in the works that I might have to work on soon. The problem is I can't speak about them, so I'm gonna omit them from this video. So if those don't happen, then this will be what I end up doing. But I am really excited about these, and I've been wanting to do them for ages. There's just not enough hours in the day to knit everything that I want to knit. So the first one, oh, I've been dying to use this yarn since October. Since August, September. Anyway, this is the Aran tweed, which I feel like if you've been online knitting for a while, you have probably seen this somewhere. This yarn is absolutely beautiful. I feel like in a way it gives me kind of Noro vibes. It's this kind of like charcoal grey. It's honestly, when I saw this in person for the first time, it was lighter than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a near on black with the coloured speckles, but it's not. It's definitely a grey. So yeah, all of the tweed flecks are just so many different rainbow colours. And I've been going back and forth for a while on what I want to knit with this. I always knew I wanted to make a jumper. I feel like I have enough plain drop shoulder stockinette jumpers. So I think what I would like to try and design for myself is a saddle shoulder. And I wasn't sold on these for the longest time, but I really like, I can't remember exactly what number it is. Let me have a look. So sweater number 26 by My Favourite Things Knitwear, and also I think it's called the Lakes Pullover by Ozetta. That kind of vibe, the oversized, the quite thick saddle. I'm not someone that will wear a turtleneck because I love the way that turtlenecks look, and especially in this yarn I think it would be really like beautiful. Unfortunately, just sensory wise, I get really irritated with things being like all the way up here, so I'm not going to do that to myself. So yeah, and I think as well a saddle shoulder is something that's new to me, so that will be exciting, but there's not much to say, just really want to get around to using this. Again, I've spoken about this many times before, but hopefully we'll get to it soon. I want to remake my Hobbii cables jumper. This is the swatch for it, so yeah, kind of like this, I guess. This is the Friends wool. This was sent to me for free, I will say, but I don't have to speak about it. It was sent to me ages ago specifically for writing this pattern. So this is in colour 2. I can't remember exactly what this brown is because the labels come off, but I'll try and put a photo on. The original sample I did of this was in a superwash merino. It got like 100 sizes bigger after I blocked it, and it's like white with a pink mohair with green trims. So this time I'm doing no mohair, just the cream with, I think, the brown trims. I am still undecided, but I think I will end up doing them. So yeah, I do want to get around to this soon. I want a cream jumper. Lastly, for the knitting, if you have caught any of my recent videos or you follow me on Instagram or anything, you've probably seen I've been working on this. Still needs a second sleeve, unfortunately, but this is like an all over lace tie in the front cardigan. Definitely needs a block as well, but this is knit in the Drops alpaca silk, and I'm gonna have loads of this left over, like really a lot. I can't remember exactly how many balls I've used for that so far. I think I'm only on my 3rd or 4th, and I think I had like maybe 7 or 8, I'm not entirely sure, but either way I'm gonna have loads left. So I would like to make myself something similar in fit to the blouse number 1, but probably something lace again, just like really simple throw on layering piece. But this could take longer because the reason I haven't finished this is because knitting these sleeves on a really small circumference in this yarn has really not been an enjoyable thing for me. So I'm currently finishing off another whip and then I'm gonna hopefully get back to this, but I think it is putting me off starting another piece. So maybe we would have to do something a little bit bigger just to avoid the horrific magic loop and shorty combination thing that I've had going on. So that's it for the knitwear. I should say I'm not expecting to make every single one of these, but hopefully they can inspire you in some way. So we're gonna get onto the crochet. So like I said, I haven't crocheted in ages, so I'm really excited about some of these. 2 of these I did literally just speak about in my finish, fix or frog first episode, so I'm gonna just speed run through these first 2. But if you saw that, you will know that I have been wanting to repurpose this into a long sleeve top. I feel like this would be absolutely gorgeous. After I finished my current knit whips, which is that cardigan and also an off the shoulder thing I've been working on, I think I'm gonna have to do this one next because I have been going on about this for the longest time and just never actually done anything with it. But yeah, this is absolutely beautiful. So yeah, we're turning this into a long sleeve top, and if I have enough, maybe a matching long skirt, because this is kind of where this is at now. The only thing is I can't remember what hook size I used for it, so we'll have to figure that out. I do have a couple of fresh balls, so I think I'm going to start from those and then we'll just see. I mean, I don't even know what's gone on in here, there's so many knots and stuff, but yeah, that's number 1. Number 2, again, we're not gonna get into too much because I did literally speak about it in a really recent video, but I do really want to go back and fix this. I basically want to frog back, make the raglan increases shorter, cast on under the arm because this is just pit to pit, and basically just make this into like a tight like long sleeve top rather than an oversized jumper. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you like to crochet, you've probably seen pieces like this before. I'll put some inspo pictures up on the screen. I've just been loving the look of lace made in crochet. I feel like it has such a different look to lace in knit, and yeah, I just think that they're really good like layering pieces, especially beach cover-ups if you've got a nice holiday coming, all that kind of thing. I actually recently bought these 2 books. I went down an absolute rabbit hole to try and find this book. This is like an out of print random like Chinese or Japanese, they come in different editions, book of all these different crochet stitches. And can you believe I found this on AliExpress of all places? I've never ordered from there before. And then I also just threw this one on, which is continuous crochet motifs. But these just have like some of the most really pretty stitch patterns. I find a lot of the time I struggle with crochet because some of the stitches I think are just a little bit like not my style, I will say. But I don't even know how well you can see this. This has just got loads of different stitches, kind of like lacy stitches specifically. So I'm really excited to give this a proper look and hopefully incorporate some of them into some more summer pieces. But yeah, kind of on the topic of that, I also just think like a crochet tank top would be super cute just as like a layering piece in a similar kind of lacy stitch. Again, hopefully you'll get some inspo up on the screen. And another thing I would like to make is a crochet dress, which I honestly didn't think that I would say. However, I've had this yarn in stash since maybe last year. This is the Sandnes garn mandarin petite, and as you can see it's just in black. Now I bought enough of this originally. As you can see, I had actually cast on something else last year. I wanted to make a two-piece matching set with an off-the-shoulder top. It's in this beaded rib, so it's going to be like this, and then yeah, top and short set. However, I basically as I was knitting this, I don't know what I did wrong, but I went to frog it and then try and re-knit it and basically just like couldn't fix what I had broken. But I'm not really excited by that idea anymore. What I think I would like to make instead is very similar to those kind of crochet stitches, all over dress, boat neck, maybe some kind of like corseted tie in the back or sides just to give it some more shaping. And I have a black slip dress that I would wear this over. So I'm not going on any hot holidays this year. I don't really need it as a bikini cover up, but I think black really you can get away with anything. And I think if you just wear like a solid kind of like tight dress underneath or slip dress like what I've got, then I think I could probably wear this out whenever I wanted. So yeah, I want it to be short, and I was thinking of doing it in the same stitch as that jumper, but I think I'll try something different just for a bit of variety. But yeah, I feel like things like this that are so mesh and so see-through, you can really layer in so many ways, because you can put it on, like I said, over swimwear for the beach. You can layer it over as many things as you want. If you were to make like the jumper or the top version, you can just put it over, like I have, just like over a vest top, and it doesn't have to be indecent, exposing. You know what I'm getting at. Now, this last idea that I have had for a while, I have just been sitting on because I'm still not sure. I bought this Sandnes garn mandarin petite last year when I bought the black, and this is the swatch that I made. So I have this entire bag of literally all these different colors. I bought these specifically for this project, and I can't remember exactly what this is called. Is it a crochet moss stitch or like linen stitch? What I have always had in mind for this is a zip up jacket. So again, these pictures that I found, they're not really like spot on of what I want, but hopefully as a placeholder you can just get like a bit more of a rough idea. So the reason that I have been putting this off for ages and I'm not sure is because, like I said, this is cotton. Cotton doesn't really grip together in the way that wool does, and obviously crochet is not the tightest thing anyway when you compare it to like a knit stitch, for example. So what I'm worried about is that if I spend all the time crocheting this and putting a zip in it, which obviously the zip is probably going to be heavier than the fabric, firstly I'm worried that it's going to droop at the front. But if I show you, I'm worried that this is going to get really gappy like this, and it's basically going to misshape. That is what I am most concerned about, because I think that these colours look so nice all together. I feel like this could be such a fun, interesting piece. I've got navy for like the collar and like bands and hems and stuff. But yeah, I am just conflicted whether or not to go ahead with this in this yarn, because I don't know what else I would do with this yarn if I didn't. And I do really like the way that this stitch pattern looks. So I don't know, maybe someone can help me out. If you've ever like crocheted anything like this in full cotton before, how did it wear? Because I am nervous, because this is on a quite small hook as well. I think this was on a 3 or a 3.5. So it's going to be very time consuming for something that I'm worried is not going to work out. But yeah, at the minute, that is everything that I've kind of got going around in my head to make soon. Hopefully this could give you some inspiration, maybe of some things that you would like to make. I'm really not a spring summer knits kind of person. I didn't make any last year, so for some reason this year I've just been feeling super inspired by it. I think it's just because the sun has come out, honestly, and I think last year I was really focused on building up a lot of my like winter orientated pieces, but since I have so many pieces in wool now, so many jumpers, I feel like I have the time and like mental capacity to try and design some more, yeah, just summer appropriate things, different types of garments, which I am really excited about. So yeah, obviously if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to see if I get around to making some of these things, then yeah, definitely stick around. And I'm on Instagram as well. There is going to be some pattern news coming soon. I'm going to be putting up another testicle hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that kind of thing, definitely Instagram. I started a broadcast channel to put pattern test calls and pattern updates and stuff, because the algorithm is really hit and miss for me of whether people will see it or not. So if you don't want to miss out, then that's probably the best place to get any updates. Definitely let me know as well what you guys want to make, because you know there's always space for some more ideas and stuff, and you know, love to be exposed to new patterns and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna end this here, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.